Herpa has recently announced to be making more narrow-body American Airlines models with a strong focus on retro and heritage liveries. And the first in a string of new models like this is this Embraer here from American Eagle. And thanks to the good prices of the F&B shop, I'm able to show you this model in today's review. So with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Embraer ERJ-170 of American Airlines / American Eagle, the regional branch of American Airlines. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the American Eagle branding. Then on the back side of the box we have yet another cutout. Unfortunately, I've talked about this dreadful box design many times. I would wish Herpa would stop doing this, but they just don't care. So the only thing of interest here is simply the fact that this model is a limited edition. And here she is, the Embraer ERJ-170 in the former standard livery of American Eagle. But now, of course, this is a heritage livery, as all other aircraft carrying this livery have been retired. And this is the only aircraft left with that livery, although it was actually repainted into that livery. So it is truly a heritage livery. Now let's focus on the aircraft model itself to find out if it is worth our time and, more crucially, our money. And the best way to do that is by taking a closer look at the aircraft model, starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the American Eagle branding and the flag of the United States of America. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust, and underneath we find another little printed detail which I believe could be the tail strike indicator. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the writing of American Eagle. We do also find a One World logo, of which American Eagle, of course, through American Airlines, is an associate member. Now, since the aircraft in real life doesn't really have any visible static ports here, Herpa could have added some sensors around the cockpit section, but of course if they can cut away a print and then not replace it with something else, they happily do that without reducing the price of the model. So the only other details we find here is the RJ branding, which is part of the livery, and then the aircraft type specification underneath the cockpit windows, where we also have the name of the airline operating the aircraft on behalf of American Eagle, which in this case is Envoy. That leads us to the cockpit section itself, which comes with the cockpit windows and the window wipers, but then that's all we get here in printed detailing. The engine nacelles have been kept in all grey, just like the belly of the aircraft, but we do have the silver leading edge printed on, and at least here we do get the additional detailing of the safety relevant markings. The physical detailing is, I think, overall very much decent, especially considering how tiny these engines get in scale 500. Then we can move on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at. Starting off at the top side, where we can see the flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. Also, the underside of the wings offers us some more nice physical detailing, especially here with the pylons. Then the wings, of course, also have winglets, which I think is the highlight of the wings, especially with the American Airlines or American Eagle branding printed on from Herpa here very nicely. And then we have the landing gear. That is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the Embraer ERJ-170 aircraft models, and overall I think that is a pretty decent thing, because it actually looks somewhat realistic, much more realistic at least than we have seen with landing gears from many other Herpa Wings models, but we are, as always, missing some printed details around the front landing gear. Now, this wouldn't be a Herpa Wings model if there wasn't a pointless hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, but at least it doesn't destroy any printed details in this case. And since we are looking at the belly of the aircraft, we can also notice a nice thing Herpa has added, and that are the RAM air intakes. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Embraer ERJ-170 in the American Eagle heritage livery from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? I mean, it is an Herpa Wings model, so it comes with all the good and all the bad that Herpa has to offer. For example, the misalignment between the front landing gear and the front cabin door. On the model, they overlap. In real life, they don't. So, in my opinion, Herpa is placing the front landing gear too far back on the fuselage. But of course, this is an issue that really affects all Embraer aircraft models from Herpa Wings and not just this one. You might also have noticed it, for example, on this aircraft model, I have a little bit of a miscoloration on the vertical stabilizer, but I don't think this is a general issue, but more something specifically for my model. And I have actually already been able to remove some of it, so I don't think this is a massive issue. So if we can look past the typical Herpa issues, then I would say we have a genuinely quite nice little regional aircraft model. But then again, I tend to always like these small regional aircraft models, so do take that into account. But I would say we have a nice little aircraft model here, which is worth having in one's collection. The question, however, is this model really worth the official Herpa retail price of 30 euros? Do you get enough in return? And the answer here is very clearly no. This aircraft model is never ever worth 30 euros. That price tag from Herpa Wings is detached from reality. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.